Hello, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, good morning. My name is Luceno.
Yes, Luceno.
I'm calling from Kakamega.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you for the question that you're raising and even for the platform, because it gives us an opportunity to probably throw in one or two words in terms of thoughts. Mm-hmm. Now, the two-thirds gender composition of appointive and elective positions, I tend to think in a certain way it is attainable, but the architecture of a country may never even allow it. Mm-hmm. The reason is, you see, like, for example, when we had, initially we had 110 elected MPs, and then we would have another addition, which used to make it from, I think that, no, am I right? It used to be 210.
210, yes.
You see, we didn't need to increase the number of elective positions. Mm-hmm. What we needed to do was to factor in the balance that brought to 290 should have just been all nominated. Mm-hmm. Nominated based on a very clear criteria: professionalism, competence, regional balance, and at the end of the day, the parties would be compared that you have been given 3 slots, they will all be ladies and they must be representative of the country diversity. But you see, what happens is we have left too much power to politicians. And this is an area, this is a conversation. Baka siku moja hii Kenya itakuja kuchomeka. That is when we'll realize that institutions should be stronger for the country to prosper. Yeah. Because they come to office, they dismantle existing institutions, they skew them around, and we keep celebrating them. Because why did we have to add? There is no way you can compel people in, this is a patriarchal society, which basically the man takes the lead position in society or in the family. There is no way you will expect this thing to ever happen. It will never, the two-thirds gender will never happen. We needed a situation which must rein into the personal weaknesses so that the institutions can address the weaknesses that exist in our personal weaknesses.
Luceno, when you talk about that it can't be achieved in the country, is it because we as Kenyans find it difficult to vote for women, to vote for people with disability? Where's the problem? And how do we look at it differently for us to say we're making a positive stride?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have matriarchal and patriarchal cultural structures in the world. Kenya and most African countries are patriarchal, where the man takes the lead position in the community and in the family. What we needed to do is to establish institutions that can mitigate that weakness. The individual weakness must be addressed by strong institutions. That's what I'm saying. Instead of us having to raise the positions of the elective positions to 290, what we needed basically is to address the gender issue. Because at 210, if we had added the 80 and they were taking care of the gender issue, where let's say if I am, let's just take, for example, I'm the UDA chairman in a region or in the country, and we have been given 20 slots of the 80 or so. It would be, the law should require me that if already I have elected positions from one gender who are already there, then the rest that I'm nominating must be the opposite gender. And that was a very simple thing. But we let politicians, because we believe they are very intelligent people and very special people, we let them run the whole thing. And they do it the best way they know.
So I think, let's just flip this. This is open. Let's flip this and ask, if it was men who were struggling to get into a certain position, would the approach have been different? Secondly, is because the argument and the assumption that has been made is the 2/3 gender rule is about women, whereas in actual sense it's about gender. It has nothing to do with men or women. So, in terms of, is it just women who are disadvantaged? If it was men who were in a scenario where they are not able to meet certain, being in public spaces, would it have been any different? Is this a cultural problem and nothing to do with the requirement of the law? Or should we get rid of it?
I think you have asked me and almost answered the same question. meaning the underlying framework within which the African man operates is that the man is the head. Now, when the man is the head, there are chances that when you are dividing that particular pie, you have a tendency to want to have this self-inclined kind of focus. So I'm saying, whether it was men or women, the question should never even have a reason, because the institutions that we were putting in place were to address the gender, not the gender balance issue.
Yeah.
Not the question of whether I'm a man or a woman. No. We are just saying we already had 210 elected MPs. Which means a third would be around 70.
Within the 210. And not 210. Increasing the number. That's what you're saying.
Yes, within the 210. So what we needed to raise to 290, we did not need to make them elected. What would have done, like what the South Africans do?
Yeah.
They normally have a list of the people they are likely to nominate, which Kenya tried to emulate, but it always does the wrong thing with the right people.
Copy bad manners.
It does what everybody else does, but with very wrong, bad manners in it.
Yeah.
So what you would have done, basically, because around that time, we had a few elected ladies or men, whichever way you look at it. Gender was not about men or women. It was just about, you look at the two sexes and you decide. So what we would do is, the Electoral Commission had a very easy work to do. To look at, these have come through UDA, these have come through ODM, these have come through whichever other thing. So they come up with, these are the people, the gaps we have in UDA are maybe 10. The gaps we have in ODM are maybe 30. To make their members a full 2/3 arrangement. And then they would be asked to then forward the names. The names must also include the element of inclusivity and national coverage. But you see what they ended up saying is, now that we have already added this, we add another one now to make it almost 400 MPs, who are already a big burden to Kenyans to foot in terms of the budgeting and the allowances they go home with and the CDF. And so it's a whole mess that Kenyans have allowed politicians to run professional areas for them also, Yeah. Because this was all a statistical issue. It had nothing to do with politics. It was just a statistical issue to be run by statisticians and professionals. That is my thought.
Thank you very much.